us about your marriage that was very hard of you.
I got married, thank you. I got married very young, and that time I really didn't know what I was getting in. He was a very intelligent, educated, nicely dressed man, but he was mentally not stable. So my marriage was over on the wedding night. It was already over, but I was a little in shock. So I lost something, some part of me that did not allow me to leave. And I stayed there, and I was there for 12 years. It was tough, and at that time I would cry and say, Lord, why me? Why are you doing this to me? I've been a good girl, why this guy? Da, da, da. But then I went one day to Ojai in California, where Krishnamurti was speaking. Krishnamurti has a school in California, in Ojai. So I went to this school when he was speaking. I was sitting right in the front. I was the youngest one there. And he was not a very good speaker, okay? So when he speaks so deep, I'm sitting there like this. So after I finished, he called me, he said, come. He took me in his room and I said, so, what's the issue? And I said, this guy is abusing me, I don't know what to do. I have 2 kids already, and I lost something. And I said, look, I'm financially independent. I was not dependent on it. I made my own money when I was 19. So money was not the issue. So what was stopping me from running away with this guy? I could not run away. So, and then when Krishnamurti told me a few things, I went home, I said, oh my goodness, this old man is not telling me what to do. Because we all want someone to tell me what to do. And he was not telling me what to do. So as I was meditating, a lot of his things was coming. And I started realizing why I'm not living. The problem was my fear. I was afraid. I was afraid of what the people is going to say. I was afraid what's going to happen to my children. He used to say, I'm going to take your children and you can go do whatever you want to say. So I was afraid of that too. I was afraid of him hurting. So I was afraid, period. So one day I was going to work and my children was already in the car. I went inside and I saw him coming after me, and I ran outside. I never went back in that house. And that was my best decision I made in my life. The best. I went in the car and I said, this is it. When I said this is it, I felt good. I went to my school. I dropped my children off to school. I went to my school and I told that I am filing for divorce. So I went and I taught my class in the morning because I teach theory. I taught my class, and on 10:30 I said, I'm going to file the divorce. So I filed the divorce. I felt something calmer. I just felt good. It was a good decision. I went and also checked in a hotel, Holiday Inn, which was very close to my school, for 1 month. Because I was not ready to face my family, to face my friends. I just needed a time off to see what I need to do. So I stayed in the hotel with my housekeeper and my children, my 2 kids. My daughter was like 4. My son was 5 years older. So, and then, anyway, so the owner of the school was my second husband. Okay. So when he found out that I'm filing for divorce, he's just so happy, singing. He got everybody donuts. Everybody said, "Why Mr. Anthony is so happy today?" You know, and then he said, "Oh, that's good." Anyway, so that evening he said, "Oh, you would like." Same day, okay, I'm filing for divorce. I want you to imagine that. Same day he goes, "Look, would you like to go out for dinner today?" I said, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't want to go out for dinner. I got to go to my children, you know." So he said, "Okay, maybe tomorrow." I said, "We'll see you tomorrow." Okay, so I got to go. So I went to my children. The next day, in the morning, he said, we're going to go out for dinner today. I said, oh, I don't think so. He said, your mama said it's okay. I said, what do you mean my mama said? He said, I call your mother. He said, I call your mother. And your mother said it's okay. And my manager, Miss Rose, was there too. And he said, Miss Rose and your mom is going to be with your children. And you and I will go out for dinner. And I said, I don't think so. He said, yeah, your mother said it's fine. After 5 minutes, my mother called. He said, oh my goodness, he's so handsome and he loves you for 18 years. He is perfect. Take a day lunch. I said, Mama, what are you talking about? I don't like him. I do not like him at all. But he was my best friend, just friend. I never liked him in any way because I was not a kind of woman who ever dated anybody. So I just never looked at him. So anyway, we went out to eat dinner. And he has this reservation in the restaurant with his mother's favorite. So there was a fireplace, we were sitting there. And then after 5 minutes, okay, he got in with this, would you marry me? I said, oh my goodness, I'm not even divorced. What are you doing? This is my second date. I just felt, how would you feel like that? And I was like, the heart beating. I said, oh my goodness, what is all this? And everybody in the restaurant, please say yes, please say yes. And then I told him, I said, look, I'm not even divorced. What are you doing? I said, I'm not ready. He said, no, I just want to make sure that I'm in the list. So anyway, he sat down and we actually, first time, I knew him for 18 years, but we never talked, This is the first time we sat down and talked. And when we started talking, the owner of the restaurant knew my husband, so he told everybody, do not disturb these two, because we were so talking like that, We were so involved in ourselves. So it was around 11, and we looked around. I said, oh my goodness, what time is it? 11 o'clock. I said, oh, my kids, my children, my kids. And my husband goes, don't worry, your kids are taken care of, and I'll drop you back. So we did not know where the time went, because we were so, energy was so engraved in first time, Anyway, he dropped me off at the hotel, and then he gave me something very intelligent to do. He said, why don't you go back and really think about what do you want in your husband? I said, I don't want a husband. I don't want any man. I don't want anything. He said, please think about it. I said, okay. I went back to the hotel. My heart is beating, okay? He hugged me bye, but it was a different hug than a normal hug, right? So I went to the hotel, and my mom and my manager was sitting there. And there was, how was it? How was it? I said, what are you guys doing? Nothing, I'm good. So they left, and I stayed there in a very quiet time. Who's going to sleep with all this excitement, right? Divorce going on, and this guy showering me with all this. I sat down and started writing what I need in my husband. So I had a whole list, and everything in that list was for my children. I want a husband who will take care of my kids. I want a husband who will travel. I want a husband who's going to be in education. It's everything for that. But I had one thing for me. I want a husband who's going to support my profession. I love my work. So this is all I wrote for me, one thing. Everything for my children, okay? And I'm going to, so we, next day in the morning, I went back to the school and I handed him the paper. I said, here it is, and I went back to teaching. After my teaching, he called me in the office. I went in the office and he said, look, I qualify. I also put down, I want a believer. He said, look, the believer is a cushion. I believe in you, but I don't know about that. Just like that. I said, okay. But everything was very compatible. And I said, no, you're not used to the children, and you're not going to take care of my children. He said, I will be a perfect husband and children for you. I said, no. Anyway, so he made me keep thinking. And every day was a better day with my husband. Every day. And every day, like when he drops me off, I felt like, oh, can he stay longer? Like that. Which was not, just naturally. Because I was enjoying his company first time. And then I seeing him, the different face of him too, you know. So I was able to keep my relationship, and every day was a better day. Then after a year on Mother's Day, he gave me the ring, and I took the ring. I said, okay, thank you. And he was very kind to my children. Whatever they want, he was like, yes. Whatever I want, he said yes. And most importantly, my family is important to me. So it's very important when your relationship, when people are having a relationship, to have a partner who respects your family. My ex did not fit in my family profile at all, did not fit in. But this husband was like, he was the most loving man in my entire family. Everybody loved him. So he was a very popular man. So we got engaged, and after 2 years, I got married to him. And that was my best decision I made in my life, because I found the love of my life. And this is important because when you have your purpose, and I start putting my puzzle together, see, early Qigong, right? That helped me at the age 9 to heal. Yes? And then after that, then I went through this horrible divorce for 12 years, yeah? And then this husband comes in. So everything I start putting my dots in. And that time I start thanking my Lord for giving me a man who did not love me, he just worshiped me. People would ask him, oh, because he was all Italian, you know? And people would ask him, what do you believe in? He said, I believe in my wife. I worship my wife. And I tell my children, worship your mom. Why are you wasting time worshiping for the God you don't see? Worship your mama. So he was a believer. And I made his business a very successful business. When I took over my school, we had like 37 students. In 6 months, I had 275 full-time students. Because my students were there for me, I served my students. See? Because I value you, I value all of you today, and I value you who's listening to me to be part of my puzzle. So when you value people, then you have this energy of positive. How did you feel when you saw me today? Tell me, how was your first impression? Give me one word.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, positive. So when I saw you too, and I always say when I see people, Lord, how can I serve? So when you have this energy of serving, your success comes. And this is one of my reasons why at the age 19, I was financially independent. How I was independent. Yeah, you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay. I graduated beauty school very young, and the first thing I did, I went to one of the spa, and I saw the owner was my friend, and she was sitting in the spa, and she said, "My spa is so slow. I'm doing terrible. I think I'm gonna sell it." Oh, I said, "Oh, okay. You want to sell it? How much you want to sell it?" She said, "I don't know." I said, "I got $7,000. You want to sell it?" She said, "Really? Okay, I'll sell it to you." Just like that. I signed up. I gave her the check for $7,000. I bought this salon. This salon made gold. I don't know any business will pay so much. So when I had that salon, I had young students in the school. I started going to high schools. I started speaking. I started connecting. My salon was in California, where there were the rich people, and the school was very rich. All Caucasian salon. There was no Chinese, Vietnamese, or any ethnicity. It was all Caucasian salon. So these students will come to my salon. Not only they will do their hair and ask, "Are you hungry? Okay, I have sandwich to eat. Oh, you want candy? Okay, here, get some cookie." I always cared for them because I know they're coming from school and they're hungry. So I started just feeding them. And then I started telling them, "Do your homework." But they were enjoying what I have to say. So I put one table and two couple chairs. Okay, do your homework. And then Next day, I put 4 chairs. And next day, I keep telling my housekeeper, can you get me more food? Give me more food, give me more soup, give me this. So I will take more food for these children, and they will come do your homework. So it become more like a Starbucks. Naturally. I didn't mean to, it just naturally happened. And these students start hanging out at my place till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So my salon became a hangout of the young. See, all of you young people here too. So I always connected with the young energy, because the innocent energy is a good energy. And not that old energy is bad, it's not like that, but they are more in alignment with my energy. So I was very successful in the salon. In 2 years, I sold the salon for $90,000. How much I sold it, bought it for? How much I bought it for?
$90,000.
Because, why? Because I served people. I will on Sun, and I made so much money, and I keep helping. I bought a car for somebody, I put a down payment for somebody, so I just keep doing, and I didn't know how to save money, so just keep spending. Then I started reading Rich Dad and Poor Dad book that helped me to understand investment. Then I started more aware, and I started the investment part of it. But up to that point, I didn't know. I made money, but I didn't know how to invest it. See, so it's very important for the young people to understand it's not how much money you make, or how much money you save is important. So when you make money, make sure you save some and you serve some. Because if you, let's say you make $100, from $100, you need to have a budget where you spend so much for you, you spend so much for your vacation. You have to live within that budget. If that budget doesn't allow you to have a 2-bedroom, then you just have a studio. You sleep with your mother, you sleep with your friend, whatever you want to do, but you must stay in that budget. And this is what I like to do and tell the students, to stay in your budget.
So, how did your kids affect it?
Oh, with my divorce? Well, when I went through my divorce, of course, my daughter was so young. She didn't know anything. She was so happy with my husband. My son was a little affected because my ex was poisoning his brain. And he kept telling him, make sure that he doesn't hug you, make sure he doesn't touch you. So my son was like this with him. But my husband was so nice and loving. And finally, and I can see my son was so angry, right? So, you know what I did? I kidnapped him, and he didn't want to study. So I said, okay. And nothing was working, right? I said, okay. I took him, all of us, we went to Denmark. Now, Denmark, what's in Denmark? Nothing, right? So I took him to Denmark, and we spent a lot of family time. Away from everybody, we stayed there for 3 weeks, and my son in the pool, he started talking to me, everything what he was feeling. So he was able to heal himself. And then when I came back, I sent my son for Dale Carnegie class. And that was a very good decision for young ones, because he changed his clothing. He started looking at this successful CEO and this and that. So he got him, and a lot of my family support. My brothers, my sisters, everybody would start talking. So there was a lot of family support. See, and this is what in the modern society is lacking. They feel like, oh, I'm the aunt, so I don't want to interfere. He's not my child. So that was not my case. So in my family, like my sister's kids are my kids. All my nephews, nieces are my children. So I talk to them, and they talk to me. And it's important to have that extended family. Children who are raised with extended family are usually more selfless. They're more giving, and they're more obedient because they're used to. And everyone in the family give you something, some wisdom, because they all have different wisdom. So it's very important, and this is what lacking right now in India as well. I see a lot of you move out of the home, going on your own, lacking family. Then the girls are drinking and doing all this wrong stuff, and that's why I'm here today. I'm glad I'm talking to you guys. So it's important, you can go on your own, but you must stay, have a family structure. Back to basic. And this is what's lacking in the society. Everybody is looking at us. So this is why I want to heal America. The world will be healed. If America become wise, the world will become wise. Everybody look at, they all dress up like Americans. So I'm saying keep your culture, keep your tradition, keep your language. You're beautiful who you are. You don't need to become someone else. So it's an important message. So what did you learn?
Okay. When you meet your husband, second husband.
My second husband was always in the school. We worked together almost 18 years. And he always used to tell me, when I find a woman like you, I'll get married. I used to fix him up with many women. But he always dated women. He never lived with anybody. He never even proposed anybody. He never gave a ring to anybody. So all this time, he was just in love with me. And I didn't know. I wish I knew that. If I would have knew that, probably I would have get rid of my ex-husband earlier. But I didn't know that. But he came in my life so quick. A lot of people thought, oh, I left my husband because of my second. That's not true at all. Everything is organized. So I was able to get back and find the love of my life very quickly. And I believe that I went through 12 years of abuse and domestic violence, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence because it helped me find my purpose in my life. If I didn't get abused, I wouldn't know what it is. I never cared before about abused women, never cared. So I keep thinking for 12 years why I'm going through this. So when I find my second husband, who was the love of my life, I start putting my dots together. And I say, So now I thank you, my ex-husband, for abusing me because you helped me find my purpose. And I did not, when I left him, he was very aggressive. He did a lot of wrong things with me, but I turned around and I told my children, treat him like he's your uncle who is mentally not stable. And I make sure that he sees my children, and I turn around, I helped his children, I love his children, and I was able to support him financially too, because I don't believe in retaliation. People talk about Jesus, and I say, look, when you're awakened, you are not capable of retaliation, you're not capable of anger, you're not capable of hate. So everything just goes away. You become just free and you become calm. And this is what happened, my early wisdom. This is what I'm sharing, how important it is. Why is it so important to stay silent? And why is it so difficult to stay silent for 3 minutes? Oh my goodness, it's like eternity. You will dance for 2 hours, 5 hours, yeah. But you will not stay silent for 3 minutes. It's a big thing. So this is my message for the young one. Stay silent and breathe. In and out. In and out. As you breathe in and out, see, you stay calmer. Your body and soul is together. When the body and soul is separate, there's two food. There's a food physically, you have healthy food, and there's a food for your soul. And the food for the soul comes from the connection between you and your Lord. You can call him Bhagwan, you can call him Allah, you can call him whatever name. Doesn't matter. There's only one anyway. So this is how, when my husband came to my life became better. And there was really nothing was missing in my life when my second husband. I had everything. Everything. Traveled the world first class. We had everything. He built me a beautiful home. He called it Casa Munni. I had everything. I helped so many people. I did a lot of work.
How was your life with him?
My life with my second husband
Yes.
was perfect. I want to marry him again. See, I wear his ring. Because, he was the love of my life. That's it.
When you do, in the age of 18,
Okay.
so the older teachers,
Oh, they were mean to me in the school?
who are feeling jealous on you.
Oh, well, when I started school, I had teachers. They were my teachers before. I came back to school and I felt like, and these teachers were very mean to me. And I was definitely loved because I cared. So when I was in the school, I was already going outside the school for advanced training. So I was actually the very good student, and I had a lot of talent with my hands. I loved my work. So the teacher, she was always putting me down. She would always make statements. And when I'm teaching, all the students are around me in the back, all standing, watching. And my teacher standing there so mad. So I knew she was mad. So every time I was always kind to her. So it was her birthday. So I got her a perfume. When I gave her the perfume, she was like, she was very emotional. She was so big. She was like 6 foot tall, all blonde, big hair. And she was like, start crying. And I said, oh my goodness, what I do with her now, So why she's like that? So, and I said, what did I do? She said, why you're so nice to me? I am so mean to you. I was so jealous of you and you're so nice. Can you forgive me? And she became my very good friend. See, all this time when she was jealous and mean, I was always responding her with positive energy. And I was probably 19 years old at that time too. So this is all from early wisdom. So my body, and I'm not capable of anger, retaliation, or getting mean to someone. Deliberately, never. But I have said things to people and I hurt people's feelings. Never consciously. I don't mean to, but it happens, right? So when it happens, I never do again. That's it. Move on.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.